So the first part of this particular book really deals with deal flow. And what I've realized is that having enough, doing enough prospecting so that you have enough deals is really the solution to a lot of problems in sales, right? So even if you're not that good at converting, if you've got good deal flow, you can do great.
Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker's Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 344. And today I'm going to be reviewing a book that I think is particularly useful if you're in sales. It's called Fanatical Prospecting. I've read this book a few times, and I was recently reintroduced to it from another guy that I've been sort of learning from and working with. And so I recently went through it again. And what I wanted to do today is to really point out a couple of the things that I was reminded of that I think are particularly useful for anyone that's in sales. And I think it'll be a really good reminder for you if you're in sales for a couple of different reasons that I will point out in a minute. So the first part of this particular book really deals with deal flow. And what I've realized is that having enough, doing enough prospecting so that you have enough deals is really the solution to a lot of problems in sales, right? So even if you're not that good at converting, if you've got good deal flow, you can do great. If you don't have really good deal flow and you have a really small number of opportunities that are coming through your particular process, it tends to cause a lot of problems, not the least of which is you end up being desperate, and that comes through in your energy. You can end up taking on clients because you need the money and not because they are a good fit. And it can cause a lot of dramas. And what I also find is that it can cause a lot of problems because we've got a whole bunch, or what we do is we end up with a whole bunch of people in our funnel that we've got to follow up, and they weren't people that we should have really been talking to in the first place. So if you've got good deal flow, which comes from good prospecting, you can be more selective, you can disqualify more people, and you've got that positioning where you don't need the business. So it's the utopian outcome. It's the best position to be in a business where you've got more demand than what you actually have capacity to deliver. And you can keep yourself in that perpetual state by making sure that you do enough prospecting. So the first thing that I was reminded of is that a lot of sales problems, almost all sales problems, can be solved through consistency and having enough prospects in your pipeline to talk to, so that you can choose the ones that are the best fit and the ones that you can help and provide the best outcome for. And if you are selective, then the ones that don't convert straight away are worth following up. They're worth putting your time and effort into keeping in contact with, so that they do convert. And obviously the opposite is also true. So the second thing, that there's one particular paragraph in the book which really jumped out at me, and it's something that I've been talking about for a long time, but it was reassuring to see it written in the book, because it's something that if you've listened to me often enough, you'll hear me say this a bit. And that is that if you invest an hour a day to make between 25 and 50 tele prospecting calls, which is really just 20 to 25 outbound dials and another hour for email and social prospecting, I can absolutely and unequivocally guarantee that in less than 60 days, your pipeline will be packed. So I'm going to say that again. And I don't think I mentioned before, this book is written by a guy called Jeb Blount. I think that's how you pronounce his second name, Fanatical Prospecting. And so in it, he says, if you invest just an hour a day to make 25 to 50 outbound calls and another hour for email and social prospecting, I can absolutely and unequivocally guarantee that in less than 60 days, your pipeline will be packed. And I just, it's like if you were to do that every day, then then you'll never have a problem with leads. Now, if you've got inbound leads that are coming from repeat business and referrals, if you've got inbound leads that are coming from digital marketing, then that's perfect. But what you need to do is make sure that you complement the leads that are just showing up with some self-generated leads. So it's a really, really important concept and a really, really important idea for all of the reasons that I just stated earlier on in this episode. So I really love that comment from this particular book, and it's certainly been my experience in running this business. Anytime that things have been a little bit light on in terms of inquiry, you get on the phone, you spend, these days I've been doing this for 20 years, so I don't really have to worry too much about where my next opportunity is coming from. But over the years, there have been times when, for whatever reason, economy, take your pick, COVID, things have become a bit light on. Simply getting on the phone can make a massive difference. There aren't too many problems that can't be solved by getting on the phone. So I really like that quote around consistency. And then the next point, which really jumped out at me, was efficiency. And this is a really big one, right? So these days, salespeople are encouraged to use a CRM. But what happens is that your CRM is on your computer, and your computer has all sorts of other distractions. So if you're going to make outbound calls, you really want to focus on making outbound calls. You don't want to be distracted by your phone. You don't want to be distracted by, there's another email that you've got that you want to look at. You don't want to be distracted by a message that you just got on Facebook or a message that you just got on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever. You just want to pump those calls out. You want to make a call, talk to someone, or leave a voicemail, go on to the next one, and just get those calls done. And that's how you can make up to 50 outbound dials in an hour. I would say that the average is probably about 20 to 25 that you could make in an hour. But obviously there are some people that, can do that faster. But I would say that that's about the average. But the point is that a lot of companies will say, well, you have to update the CRM, right? You have to update the CRM. Now, I believe that is a good idea. You want to make sure that you update the CRM so that if that salesperson drops dead, the next person can jump in and see exactly where all of the other opportunities are. However, I don't believe that you should update the CRM in between telephone calls. I believe that you should make a bunch of notes because they're faster to do, and then book some time after you've done your calls, after that hour that you've scheduled to make those outbound calls. Book some time where you update the CRM. It's going to be a lot more efficient, and you are going to have a higher likelihood of talking to a bunch more people. And if you have a bunch more conversations, you are going to make a bunch more appointments. And if you make a bunch more appointments, you're going to be able to make a bunch more offers. And if you make a bunch more offers, you're going to make a bunch more sales. So I think I've made that point. So in it, he talks about the golden hours. So the golden hours are when you are on the phone talking to clients. They are client-facing hours. And it's typically from about 8:30 until, about 4 every day. And then he talks also about the platinum hours. And the platinum hours are where you plan the work. That's where you look at call lists, where you look at outstanding orders that people that haven't bought yet. You look at exactly what it is that you're going to send, and you make sure that when you actually do get on the phone, you are utilizing those golden hours as effectively as what you possibly can. So what I would add to the book is that prospecting by my definition can also be following up on recent unconverted quotes, and it can also be following up on people who were sent a quote and never bought. So every business has got a massive list, a massive filing cabinet, a massive folder that's chock-a-block full of proposals that were sent out, and the person either went dark or they didn't buy or they said no. All those people are worth touching base with and seeing if their situation has changed and if they are still interested. And I have lost count of the amount of people that I have had that conversation with, that we've taught that to in a training session, that have got on the phone and have generated a bunch of opportunities just through ringing. And some of these quotes could be 2-3 years old, and you get back to people and you talk to them, and yes, they are interested, or that person that was in charge changed and the new person's interested. I mean, there's all sorts of different scenarios that we could talk about. So interestingly enough, prospecting and making sure that you have enough deal flow is what we cover in week 1 of my 6-week training. So if you have got a team of people, or if you are looking at getting some training yourself, this is your opportunity to be trained by me, or to have me train your team. And the starting point is a paid diagnostic. And you can check that out at jblakerx, jblakerx.com. The RX stands for prescription. And so that will take you to a page that explains all about it. And all you have to do is to book yourself in. You will be sent a diagnostic document to complete. You will complete that, send it back to me. I will crunch the data that you send me, and then we will get on a call, and I will show you exactly what it is in your sales process that you need to fix to unlock the hidden revenue. And that's a 90-minute session that we'll have. And at the end of that session, there are one of 3 outcomes. The first outcome is that you've gotten value and you want to implement the changes and the strategies that I give you in that 90-minute session on your own. The second outcome is that you get value from that session and that you want to book yourself or one of your team into the 6-week training. And the third outcome is that if for whatever reason we feel like we wasted each other's time, I refund your investment in the diagnostic on the spot. So I hope to talk to you soon. And as always, thank you very much for listening to the podcast, and I will talk to you on the next one. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies and maximize your sales process with new episodes every other week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive, free, no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.